Welcome to the October 18th, 2021 regular business board meeting of the Lower Merion Board of School Directors. We are asking those attending tonight's meeting in person to please wear a mask. Your mask should remain on when giving public comment at the podium as well. The board believes it's in our best interest and the best interest of the students of the district to hear comments from district residents. An opportunity will be given for public comment in person and through the chat feature, which will be read by our solicitor. This meeting is being video recorded with sound for public broadcast. All participants joining via Zoom will be muted upon entry. Welcome everyone tonight. I'm very excited to have two great things going on tonight. One is that we'll be honoring the National Merit semifinalists and commended students, which is a really great honor, and it's very exciting to be able to do that. But also, I'm thrilled to announce or to welcome Dr. Mameen to his very first school board meeting. Today, he has the pleasure of being here tonight on what is also his very first day of work. So a long first day and a very full first day, but also a very exciting one for all of us. So now I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Mameen.
Thank you so much, President Clyde. And good evening, everyone. I am so excited to be here this evening. And I was just saying to both principals, what better way to start? Having a first day where I get to engage with staff, get to engage with my secretary, my right hand, Mrs. LaPerla, and then have the opportunity this evening to celebrate student success and engage with you, the parents, guardians, and community members. So I am very excited and humbled and happy to be here. There will be a 100% chance that I will be back tomorrow. So I am so excited about that. But as I said earlier, before I get into my brief remarks so that we can celebrate our students here, I would like to say that publicly, over the next 90 days, I will be reaching out and doing some public engagement activities where I'll be meeting with community partners, meeting with my staff, meeting with universities and faith-based groups to be able to gather more information about the community and about our needs and about the things that we really, really love here in Lower Merion School District that we want to take with us into the future. And I say that by saying, look to the future with new vision. Tomorrow's not yesterday. So I'm very excited about this, and I'm very looking forward to continually engaging with you in this work so that the future can be even brighter than the history here, which is fantastic and phenomenal. But again, as I said earlier, it's not often that you get to start a new job and on the first day you get the pleasure of recognizing excellence in your workplace. But that is what I had the opportunity to do, and I have that opportunity to do it tonight. The Board of School Directors and I join our high school principals, Mr. Weinstein and Mr. Hughes, in honoring the Lower Merion School District students who have been recognized by the National Merit Scholarship Competition. We are so proud of these students, not only because they have scored well on a test, but also because so many of them are pursuing a variety of interests in addition to their academic accomplishments. A combined 37 students from Harrington and Lower Merion High Schools have been named semifinalists in the 2022 National Merit Scholarship Competition. And an additional 64 students received the Commended Student designation. Let me go a little further with this. Our Lower Merion School District semifinalists are among approximately 16,000 semifinalists overall and will be eligible to compete for the 7,500 scholarships worth nearly $30 million. More than 90% of the semifinalists are expected to attain finalist standing, and about half of those finalists will win a National Merit Scholarship, earning them the title National Merit Scholar. So we recognize these scholars and wish them all the best as they represent our district and move on in the competition. Congratulations to the students and to all of the family members here with us this evening. And before I turn it over to Mr. Weinstein, let's give these young people a round of applause for their hard work. We are so very proud of you. And at this time, I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Weinstein, the principal of Harrington High.
Thank you, Dr. Lee.
My pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to personally take a moment to welcome you to Lower Merion School District. You have an outstanding reputation. I know we're looking forward to working with you. And you're joining a community, it's a special community that really values education. There are many metrics that show that. One of them is tonight, the extraordinary number of National Merit Scholars that we're about to recognize. I'm Scott Weinstein, I'm principal of Harrington High School, and I'd also like to thank you for joining this evening. It is nice to honor and recognize many of our students. We can certainly use a celebration during this time. We are honoring a remarkable accomplishment of academic success. Students, I applaud your success and admire your dedication to academic excellence. You should be extremely proud of this designation, as it shows you have exceptional academic potential. I am sure you realize that these achievements, such as this, are not made possible throughout the support and efforts of many people, although the final effort and achievement are all yours. It would be a nice gesture for you to thank those that helped you and were responsible for getting you here tonight. And let me be the first to say publicly and officially, congratulations. I'm going to first read the commended students, and if you would come up and grab your certificate. We have many of you that are here tonight. We thank you for coming, and many more that weren't able to come tonight, and I'm going to read their names publicly so they can be recognized. First, our commended students. Okay. This bump. Yeah. Sammy Albanese. Annie Aspasi. Alexandra Aukberg. Aruna Balasubramanian. Nell Blindman. Scarlett Bova. Noah Braunfield. Sophie Cantu. Joseph Chalisari. Eli Feldman. Mary Heifetz. Alexandra Holland. Anna Hunt Isaac. Georgia Krepler. Josephine Kwok. Owen Lester. Sabrina Levy. Excuse me. Allison Liao. Thomas McShane. Daniel Novick. Max Altmans. Lindsay Reisner. Lucas Roman. Eleni Rossi. Alina. Sorry, Alina. Sophia Rothman. Cade Schneider. Owen Short. Sophia Salone. Ashika Vyas. Tyler Weiss. Eric Yoon. Noah Zeller. I will now announce the students with the recognition of National Merit semifinalists. First, Nicholas Biglin. Jason Dichter. Miles G. Lucas Glasman. Julia Hefner. Aiden Kaliner. Leo Perlstein. Maria Prasad. Phoebe Rubin. Jacob Schulman. Simon Signorel. Leah Signorel. Jillian Shaw. And Maria Waba. To the Harrington students recognized tonight, congratulations to all of us, to all of you. You make us Good job. That's fair. You make us very proud. And now to my friend and colleague, we're gonna first exit the Harrington students. If you would come this way and walk around down the steps. We'll give them a moment and we'll welcome the Lower Merion students. Congratulations, everybody. Congrats. Congrats, everybody. Congratulations. Congrats. Congrats. Congrats.
I put your little one over there on the table. Yeah. Just sit the kids. 3 times. So upset.
get that venue.
You know what, though? There's no better way to start. This is great.
Yeah.
This is great.
This is one of the higher ones.
All right, we ready? Good evening, everybody. I'm Sean Hughes, the principal of Lower Merion High School, the other bald guy. How are you tonight, and happy Monday to all of you. So, as Dr. Mimine and Mr. Weinstein so elegantly commented, this is an excellent achievement in your academic career, and I'm honored to be able to recognize your accomplishments tonight. Students, you should be extremely proud of this designation as it shows your exceptional academic talent and potential. And I know that your teachers and administrators are very, very proud of you, and so are your parents. We're proud that you've committed yourself to a strong work ethic and a passion for learning and achieving the goals you set for yourself. And as Mr. Weinstein said, please making sure that you also recognize all the people that have supported you on these great efforts. It would be of good character for you to thank your parents, teachers, and others who have helped you prepare for this so well. And as we all take great pride in your accomplishments, we again congratulate each and every one of you and good wishes. So as I call your name, come on forward and either fist bump or elbow. And we will call everybody's name out. Lily Abella. Victoria Bermudez. Alexander Ballard. Abigail Chang. Sev Charlson. Yes, Sev. Catherine Constantino. Oh, no. Ari Fernandez. Nathan Gurutny. Alex Greenblatt. Catherine Jackson. Christoph Jaroka. Ella Johnson. Good job. Sammy Kao. Liam Knudsen. Jacob Krimsky. Talia Lier. Aaron Liao. Connor Marsh. Ian Mergna. Jonathan Miller. Megan Murray. Eric Nye. Alexander Nikolov. Spencer Rosenbaum. Ryan Rossman. Jack Shapiro. Janet Springarn. Yvette Wang. Esther Werbach. Benjamin Wolf. Eric Yang. Rachel Zhang. And our next group. Nina Agard. Yes, these are the semifinalists now. Samuel Aronson. Macy Donahue. Matthew Eichen. Philip Gao. William Johnson. George Laurie. Sean Lee. Lily Ruth Mayberry. Kirsten McLean. Isaac Mittman. Anika Naveen. Dory Olson. Shoshana Premier. Catherine Swikert. Sophie Saruya. Carol Shepard. Leo Solga. It's a fine looking bow tie there, Leo. Vayamini Vakil. Ashton Webb. Jonathan Zhu. Rowan Ying. And Jessica Zhang. Congratulations. Are they going to go do pictures? Are they all in the back? Is that okay? Or can parents take pictures while they're up here? I'll do whatever you like. Okay. Parents, if you want to take a couple quick shots, kids, back row stand up, front row stay seated. So back row kids stand up, just move up forward, take a couple shots, parents, if you'd like, and then we'll take them outside into the lobby and you can take some more pictures out there. You all right, boss?
He's everywhere. I know. He's all things digital video.
Good work.
Great job.
As always.
Great job. Great job.
You want to turn that off?
Sean, you go to the radio.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I got everybody. All right, kids, let's head out to the lobby, take a couple more photos. This is what older people we like to do. We'd like to take photos. Let's go.
Test, test, 1, 2, 3, test.
Hello, welcome back. Is that me? Sorry. So that was a great way to start our meeting. I'm very happy for all of those kids. How do I not make noise? But I think we're going to move on now with the rest of our business board meeting. So next on the agenda are the committee meeting reports. First, we're going to ask our student representatives to the board to share their reports, and Eli Feldman from Harriton will go first.
Hello, I'm Eli Feldman, and I'm a senior at Harriton. So, like last meeting, I thought it would be pertinent to start off with COVID, as I'm sure that that's the issue on everyone's mind. And as I reported last meeting, COVID procedures are still being taken very seriously, which is definitely good to see. Students, for the most part, are masking correctly and being safe, trying to spread out. It can be tiring for everyone at times, so, you won't see everyone properly wearing the mask if you're walking down the halls. But for the most part, students are doing pretty well with that. So there have been a few issues once, this schedule really started taking off. So Harriton, much like many schools throughout the country, has been hit with a few vandalism cases in our bathrooms. We were able to address it during our advisory broadcast, and since then there's only been one act of that same vandalism, and hopefully, for the most part, it's behind us. We'll be addressing it again this upcoming advisory broadcast, so hopefully that will put an end to it. And the return of lunch and learn, due to the changing weather of more cold and fall season. There's been more kids eating inside, and in both the auditorium and gym, there's been trash that's been left behind after lunch. So on Friday, as well as today, parts of the eating areas were closed off as a sort of a warning sign. And we hope that will be enough of a message to deter kids and remind them to pick up their trash. It's still, being played out as to how effective that will be, but hopefully, again, like the other problem, it won't go on much further. Some events happening at Harriton and within the community. Again, sports are drawing crowds really like never before. Of course, football being the biggest. We played Friday at home against Radnor. Hopefully, LM can win the district. Get the district to win for us. But overall, people are just excited to be together, outside, supporting their friends, and it's really brought everyone together. A community event coming up, Made on the Main Line, which Harriton Student Council is planning, is the annual music concert in Narberth Park. It'll be happening this Saturday, October 23rd, from 3 to 9 p.m. We weren't able to have the event last year due to COVID. But after talking with some Narberth officials, we realized that it was able to be put on safely this year, which we were really excited about. And we expect, the heart to grow fonder after the absence last year. And we expect a good turnout, especially based on the positive feedback that we've received so far from that event. And even showing some great unity between the high schools. Many of the bands that we have performing are actually from LM. Our technical director, who's running the whole show, he's also a student at LM. So if anyone is interested, the gazebo area in Narberth Park, October 23rd, 3 to 9. So lastly, I've been informing my peers that with this new position, I wanted to give them more of a voice, and I've been asking what are some of the issues on their mind. And the overall number one issue that students have come up to me about is the parking lot and getting marked tardy unexcused for the first set of the day. So at least at Harriton, there's one entrance to the student parking lot, and that's used for both cars that are parking, which are mostly students, and parents who are dropping off their students, which causes the whole parking lot to become very, very congested. And of course, this has only worsened due to COVID, with more kids driving or getting dropped off. and less taking the bus. So of course, with all this congestion, students aren't being able to park their cars and get into the school by 7:30, so then they're being marked late. And of course, they're not looking to drastically change anything, start new construction or anything like that. Most students that I've talked to are really just looking for somewhat of a grace period where the school would understand that they aren't really showing up late. It's only due to that congestion and traffic. Of course, students are cognizant of the argument of, well, you can just wake up earlier. But of course, the response that I've gotten when I've asked them about that is, it doesn't really matter what time you get there. It's always going to be congested. So, really getting up earlier won't do much to solve that. And of course, they already have to get up so early for the start times. So that was really the main issue that was pressed by students when asked. So I wanted to share that with the board tonight. And that's all from Harridan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Feldman. Ms. Wu from Lower Merion.
Good evening. Hi, I'm Emmy Wu. I'm a junior at Lower Merion High School. Building off of what Eli said, COVID at LM has also been taken very seriously. Thankfully, the weather has been pretty warm, so a lot of people are still eating outside. Lunch and Learn is operating every day for every grade, which is really good for people who have to talk to teachers and do homework, and most importantly for club meetings. With club meetings meeting more and being active, it makes for a better school environment and a lot of fun student activities. Speaking of student clubs, Players is making a lot of progress on our Black Box show, and Marionite is publishing their first issue in a week. A lot of students at LM have been talking about the possibility of the return of Hybrid Friday. In fact, the center spread of the Marionite actually talks about it. Another important thing for us is that Radnor Week is coming up, which is really exciting. As a committee head, I've been pretty involved with that. We've ordered shirts, and we're planning a lot of fun activities and spirit days. And towards the end of the week, we're gonna have like the big football game, and we're even having a dance, and a lot of students are very excited about that. And pretty much Eli said most of everything. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next committee report will be Ms. Kalish providing the communications meeting report from the September 22nd meeting.
Thank you. So we began with a review of back to school communications, including a staff welcome video, a bus safety video to replace the old puppet show assembly, new COVID screening tools, including a flow chart for easy step-by-step use, the updated COVID dashboard this year, and the hashtag Lmsd first day photo cards and slideshows. During this section, adding vaccination information to the COVID dashboard was suggested and has since been included on that section of the website. Next up was the discussion of the district website that actually went, the refresh that went live today. This included a site demo with some of the new features, including a flexible landing page design, a Find It Fast feature, which is based on the most commonly searched and visited terms and sections of the site, a redesigned calendar and event sections, and a suite of accessibility features that bring the site completely into ADA compliance. It includes both icons and words, a clearer color scheme, and a back end that works with screen readers and text enlargement programs for visually impaired users. We then discussed onboarding Superintendent Mumin, and including meet and greets for the staff and community, including those who participated in the search process, school videos, video interviews for the website and LMSD TV, and the return of Ask the Superintendent events. The committee reviewed the ongoing equity audit. Invitations to apply for the audit advisory team went on September 22nd, and selections have since been made and communicated, with meetings beginning this month. 30 applications were received, and 3 parents or guardians were selected, and we thank them for their ongoing service. We moved next to plan team building activities for Gladwin and Penwyn students who will be moving to the new middle school, including meetings with HSAs, selecting new and additional middle school ambassadors so that there will be a representative for each grade, and development of the new HSA and social activities for students that will be attending the new school. Lastly, a community newsletter is planned for distribution this term, and topics for inclusion were also discussed.
Thank you, Ms. Kalish. Our next committee report will be from Ms. Finger on the October 6th curriculum meeting report.
Thank you. We had 3 presentations at our meeting. The first was revisions to our 10th grade courses from Leslie Pratt. These are changes that will take place over the next 1.5 years. There'll be shifts in instructional methods from a literature-based to literacy-based framework that's driven by questions rather than text. Our strategic plan guides this work. Tight focus on American literature with continued focus on literary analysis, coupled with multiple perspectives. The enduring understandings for our 10th grade readers are informed by DEI perspectives, and our summer reading includes ranges of authors, perspectives, reading levels, and cultures. Our next presentation was on the summer 2021 program recap. We provide summer programming to engage, enrich, and strengthen foundations for success, and our programs encompass 4 bands: academic enrichment, acceleration, remediation, and support for transitions. So this summer was, outside of last summer actually, this was our largest group of students with 1,494 participants in 16 different programs, including 2 new additions. All but our academic acceleration programs were at no cost to families. One of our 2 new programs was ITAS, and it's an extension of the one-to-one tutoring program for our grades 6 through 8 students. Students were invited to participate based on attendance and achievement data, as well as teacher recommendations. Each was paired with a teacher and worked either individually or in groups of 2 to 3, and all via Zoom. And it was very successful, as reported by parents and most students. Also new this summer was a 2-week middle school STEM program. Our secondary summer school offering had 394 students. 57 took a course for advancement in bio, and there were 208 that took health, so they could open up room in their schedule, a little more flexibility to allow for elective courses. And then finally, we had 31 students participate in our support for transition to 9th grade in both the high schools, and these were students who had been fully virtual last school year. Our final presentation was by Ms. Sarah Stout, and it was our 5 through 8 schools reimagined. So the reimagined timeline began in 2016 with a recognition of the need to build a 3rd middle school to manage our growing enrollment, and then the 2017 determination to change the structure of our schools to a K-4, 5 through 8. This presentation specifically was about the 5 to 8 schedule, which revolves around the mission, vision, strategic plan, and a list of priorities that are based on research of what is best for the middle school years. Teaming, intervention, and well-being, along with the unified arts, are the drivers of the scheduling. Ms. Stout walked us through the iterative process of creating the 5 through 8 schedule, beginning with the "This We Believe" statement out of the Association of Middle Level Educators about the importance of teaming in the middle school. That includes common planning time for the team teachers as well as course teachers. And teams are microcosms of the whole community, so they need to represent the student body. She then took us through the 3 different ideas for scheduling and how they compared them against the priorities: flexible scheduling, different schedule for the 5th and 6th graders versus the 7th and 8th, well-being, equity, core instruction times, etc. And finally landed on one that they will use as a shell for consideration and ongoing investigation. Our new middle school is specifically designed for teaming, flexibility, and project-based learning. For more details on this very thorough and fascinating process, please refer to the presentation on board docs. Our next curriculum committee of the board will be meeting 8:30 a.m. Wednesday, November 3rd in the boardroom. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Finger. Our next committee report will be Ms. Robinson, who will report on the October 8th Policy Committee meeting.
Thank you. The Policy Committee meeting started at 8:30 a.m. in the District Administration Building. The policies brought forward for second reading were 007, which will be brought back for a first reading after undergoing additional revisions next month. Policy 235, Student Rights and Responsibilities. Policy 313 is for repeal, Administrative Evaluation and Compensation Plan, and Policy 444 is scheduled for repeal in service. We discussed the following first readings. Policy in AR 302, which is new and incorporates many policies and administrative regulations previously detailed separately. As such, the following policies and administrative regulations are being brought forward for repeal. 346, 446, 546, discriminatory harassment by and of employees and other members of the school community. 354, 454, 554, maintaining appropriate boundaries. 806, child and/or student abuse. 357, 457, 557, outside employment and business interests. 460, tutoring for a fee. 555, private coaching and/or training of students by district athletic coaches. 322, 422, 522, gifts. 356, 456, 556, crowdfunding. 426, complaint procedure, and 332, 432, 532, whistleblower or reporting of waste and wrongdoing. We discussed then Administrative Regulation 351, employee laptop security procedures and training was updated to reflect current practices. And for discussion, we discussed AR 101. This was discussed, but no formal document exists at this time. It will be brought forward next month with some sample regulations from other districts. And that concluded our meeting. Our next meeting is November 5th, I believe. Yeah, the 5th. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Robinson. Our next committee report will be Mr. Lee, providing the October 14th Facilities and Purchasing meeting.
Thank you. The following items were reviewed by the committee and recommended for approval by the full board at today's business meeting. We recommended the list of district bills for approval. We recommended the following items from the purchasing report for approval. $94,178.80 with Presidio Networked Solutions for wireless access points for the new middle school. $9,753 for furniture and storage for the Human Resources Department from Office Service Company. $12,975 for removal and replacement of a backflow preventer at Penwyn Elementary School by Johnson Control. $19,278 for security camera licenses and maintenance by I2 Security Solutions. We recommended the following district contracts for approval. New contracts with the following. E+ for the planned purchase and installation of central computer servers to replace existing 7-year-old servers at a cost of $251,460.80 for the equipment and $9,918 for the installation. Lumen for the purchase of landline telephone service, so-called plain old telephone service at the new middle school for $515.54 a month plus taxes. Renewals with the following. 2 renewals with CCIU. Stephanie Fry, a board certified behavioral analyst at $100.89 per hour, and Jennifer Hetzke, a school psychologist for $757.38 a day. Cooter Galaxy for an online K-5 career awareness program required by PDE for $6,368. Person-driven solutions for specialized counseling for students with disabilities for $25 per quarter hour. World Book for an updated online encyclopedia for $9,749.40. School Mint Hero Ready for a tool to help track student tardies for $8,458.93, hopefully not people with parking problems. Learning A to Z for renewal and consolidation of district accounts used by general and special ed teachers as well as ELL and reading specialists. MCIU for Title I related reading and math instruction services for $14,878 per year. Kinwood Club for district use of the squash courts for up to 40 players from Harriton High School and Lower Merion High School for $27,000 with a per player fee for any players above 40. A 2-year renewal with BoxClever for their school bus tracking app used by parents for $6,375 per year. Mainline School Night for use of the Lower Merion High School for 9 class sessions in spring 2022 for $3,825. We recommended the following work orders for approval. 3 work orders for Chester Valley Engineers for upcoming work to support 3 facilities-related projects. Planning, design, and stormwater work supporting the Harriton High School Classroom Addition project for a not-to-exceed amount of $50,000. Surveying and plan revision services related to the construction of playfields at 1800 West Montgomery and 1835 County Line for a not-to-exceed amount of $60,000. Professional civil and landscaping support services for the application of the proposed lighting project at Arnold Field for a not-to-exceed amount of $40,000. A work order for Snyder Hoffman for ongoing professional services related to the tentative sketch application for the proposed lighting project at Arnold Field for a not-to-exceed amount of $20,000. We recommended the following change orders for approval. Change orders related to the construction of the new middle school. 2 change orders from Spiesel Architectural Group, a not-to-exceed amount of $50,000 for the planned evaluation and design of audiovisual systems, and $3,550 for professional services related to the addition of electrical power to support electric car charging stations in the upper parking lot. $2,269.77 for Vision Mechanical for the installation of a drain line to support a possible water feature in the new middle school. No decision has been made on any water feature, but installing a drain to support any future water need is significantly cheaper during construction. $3,180 for Gessler Construction for the installation and removal of temporary screening chain link fence for a neighboring property of the project site. $17,047.81 for IMC Construction for the installation of additional landscaping for retaining wall number 2. $1,873 for JBM Mechanical for changes to the fire and smoke dampers required to support design changes to the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing systems. $6,202.86 for Borough Construction for updates to the design of the kitchen to make it consistent with kitchens at the other middle schools. $97,755.21 for 11400 Inc. for the purchase of refrigerated food cases for the cafeteria and substitution of stainless steel countertops with Corian quartz to make it more consistent with the other middle schools. We recommended for approval a construction change directive to Borough Construction for a not-to-exceed amount of $500,000 to support expected changes to audiovisual infrastructure, wiring, and equipment at the new middle school. As it happens, there was a delay in the district receiving a signed copy of this document, so the completed change directive was unable to be posted to board docs until after the committee meeting. The signed document was posted to board docs at 11 a.m. on Thursday, October 14, 2021, shortly after the ending of the meeting. Finally, we received an update on the construction of the new middle school. Construction work continues on schedule, and the expected turnover dates to Lmsb so that we can begin work on IT starts in January 2022 for Area A and span to early June 2022 for Area D. No additional supply chain issues are known at this time. The project continues to run under budget with a total contracted spend to date of $85,905. $85,905,546, which is below the original construction estimate of $95,621,570, and our targeted budget after contracts were awarded of $87,985,821. The next Facilities and Purchasing Committee meeting will be Thursday, November 11th, 2021 at 8:30 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. And now we're going to add one more committee report. Ms. Kalish is going to provide a update or report from the Middle School Naming Committee, which met over the course of about a year.
Yeah, we had several meetings over the course of the last year. The board convened a committee to recommend a name for the new middle school. The committee consisted of myself as a board representative, Superintendent Copeland, an LMSD teacher who resides near the school site, LMSD parents and guardians, including those whose children will attend the new school, and community members. Members were selected following a public December 2020 solicitation for volunteers to serve on that committee. The committee reviewed the naming conventions of Lower Merion schools, namely relating to the location rather than historical figures, and generated many suggestions. After a great deal of consideration and debate, and I can assure you that there was a great deal of consideration and debate over many meetings, consensus was reached, and the committee recommends the name Black Rock Middle School. Black Rocks are prevalent in the localized area of the new school and were of particular significance to the Lenape people whose ancestral lands include Lower Merion and Narberth. And according to the Lower Merion Historical Society, quote, Black rocks, different from other rock formations in the area, cover some 4 to 5 acres near Mill Creek as it passes under Black Rock Road in Gladwin. Geologists say that the nature of the rock represents gradations from serpentine to talc. Traditions hold that the Lenape camped in the area because it was the source of chert, a flint-like stone used in the manufacture of spear points and arrowheads. If the board approves the suggested name this evening, a kickoff mascot contest will occur in early November. All 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th graders who will be attending the new school will vote on a mascot and school colors, with the winning selections announced by Principal Stout and the middle school ambassadors at the November 15th school board meeting.
Thank you, Ms. Kalish. Moving along on our agenda, the next piece on the agenda are the announcements or additional agenda items, and we have none for this meeting. The next portion of our meeting is audience recognition. At this time, Ms. LaPera will open the chat feature, and you will see a 10-minute timer appear on your screen. You can submit your comments and or questions via the chat feature. Please be sure to begin with your full name and where you reside within the district in order for your comment to be shared. Again, please provide your name, and it can be a neighborhood, it doesn't need to be an exact address. Ms. LaPera, do we have any in-person comments for tonight's meeting?
Yes, we do. Deborah Robbins is first, then Andrew Abramson.
Can you hear me okay? Because I'm hearing impaired, I can't tell. I'm happy and delighted to welcome Dr. Moomin, and actually I'm addressing you primarily because you're the new ears. I'm representing not just myself, but a very large cohort of people who are very concerned, as most of you already know, with the removal of 512 trees to build the fields. And this has been an ongoing thing, so I don't know how much, again, new ears. The question has been posed, why are trees being considered to be more important than the kids? Actually, the kids are absolutely number one in the concern by Climate Action of Lower Merion, concerned people in the community, and neighbors. The programs for sports are very important, but great coaches and great sports teams and experiences like that are not what will save them from the kind of catastrophe that has been intensified over the summer. These are smart kids sitting up front. Many of them will be scientists. We know that climate science is real. We've seen floods, we've seen fires, we've had smoke over our neighborhood, we've had New Jersey neighbors drown in their homes. I won't go on, you know the deal. So we hope to have a invigorated and refreshed and ongoing dialogue about really stepping out of the box, really digging deep, and find a better solution than in any way, not just this, but the whole, anywhere further, any kind of degradation of natural resources in the township that protect us from climate catastrophe. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'd like to welcome you. I'm really happy that you're here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Robinson. She was from Villanova. Mr. Abramson, and if you could state your name and where you reside within the...
Sure. My name is Andrew Abramson. I reside also in Villanova. I'm actually neighbors with Deb, and wanted to further discuss the issues that we've presented as a community up to this board. One of the biggest issues we're having with where you all have proposed the new fields for the new middle school is that, in essence, completely destroys a neighborhood. Now, from your perspective, it doesn't seem that way, but in talking to neighbors in the community from Ardmore who had baseball fields input into their areas, it became abundantly clear, and it was at a meeting about 6 months ago, that the same exact scenario occurred. You all said it wasn't going to cause any type of issues, don't worry about it, it's not going to cause any type of safety issue, etc. And if anybody ever drives into Ardmore, which I do all the time with my kids for baseball, anybody that lives in that neighborhood is completely catastrophized with the amount of cars and danger that's around there. And we definitely don't want that in the community. For us, it's not just the trees, it's not just the land, which is incredible on its own, but it's also the safety of the kids in the neighborhood, the safety of all of the people in the neighborhood. If you go onto our streets, you will see that if you park on both sides, which is what parents will do when dropping their kids off for baseball, you cannot get through the street. And it's a cut-through street for Spring Mill Road, which is a huge thoroughfare in our district. It's very, very important for you all to really consider other options. And there are a lot of other options in the district. And there are a lot of other ways to look at this, like Shipley School built up. And that's a possibility, but there's other possibilities within the district. We just ask that you take a moment and think, if this was your neighborhood, what would this look like? How would this look to you? You probably wouldn't like it. And it's more than that for us. It's a safety issue, it's a community issue, and it's a tree issue, and it's an oxygenation issue, and there are so many other things. Thank you.
Okay, I'm sorry. Christopher Bogan?
Thank you for your recognition.
Okay, I'm sorry, can you state your name and where you reside? Thank you.
Christopher Bogan. I live in Wynwood in the Penwyn area. As a matter of public record, I'd like to read a brief letter written to the school board by the mainline NAACP about the Equity Audit Committee's membership. Dear LMSD Board, as the executive committee of the NAACP mainline branch, we would like to acknowledge and applaud your efforts and initiatives towards creating a more welcoming and equitable educational environment for all students and their families in Lower Merion Township. As you know, with our deep roots within the community, the NAACP has been a steady presence and an advocate for equity and inclusion in Lower Merion Township for the past 91 years. We are a local organization with members who live and raise their families within the community, and our interests align with those of the local community. What is also a unique strength of ours is our long-standing and uninterrupted focus on issues related to equity and inclusion affecting all members of the community, in particular, marginalized communities of all backgrounds. This prolonged focus gives us a wealth of knowledge and insights that are important to any community initiative and project which aims to enhance equity and inclusion. We have always freely offered to collaborate and assist the LMSD in any DEI effort and continue to be available to you and your various committees for this purpose. We were recently surprised that our suggestion for the chair of our education committee, Mr. Alex Tavangar, who is a tax-paying resident of Lower Merion Township, to be on the school district's Equity and Audit Committee was rejected because he is not a parent of a current student in the district. We expected that since the stated school board's intent is to have members with a diverse set of experiences and representations on the Equity Audit Committee, having an informed representative from the NAACP would be a welcome addition. We understand that 9 out of 12 committee members are teachers and administrators within the district, which can hardly be viewed as diverse representation from the community. We would like to request that Mr. Tavangar be selected as a member of the Equity Audit Committee. This will not only enhance community representation on the committee, but also lend additional credibility to the efforts by the school district towards equity and inclusion. Mr. Tavangar's email is included in the letter. Sincerely, Brian Reese Turner, President, NAACP, Mainline Branch. Thank you for your time.
Jamie Vogel, Adrian Seltzer. Has Jamie left? Jamie left?
Did you say me? I thought you said a name before.
Sorry, it's Jamie, then Adrian, but Adrian, go ahead, you're there. Jamie, is that okay with you? Sure.
Okay. Hello. Adrian Seltzer, Linwood, co-founder along with Annie Dennison of Stand Up for Lower Merion in Narberth. The same issues kept coming up at our meetings. We firmly believe that if the board takes the action suggested below by our survey, it can increase and utilize the educated, informed, and experienced populace who live here in Narberth and Lower Merion. Committee meetings give the public the best chance to actively participate in the governance of the school. In addition, school directors have an opportunity to listen to and respond to members of the community. Nearly 200 informed community members took part in this survey. Over 80% have attended a school board meeting, but unfortunately 39% do not know how to find the links to the committee meetings and agendas. I know you now have them, the Zoom link comes up now on the calendar. Suggestions: have the emailed meeting notices and the calendar include not only that Zoom link, but the agenda, presentations, and other necessary links. That was about 77%. In addition, half of the respondents either do not know what Board Docs is or how to navigate it. Another 23% just maybe sometimes do. A suggestion: have a video on the website on how to navigate Board Docs. Participation is critical in a democracy. Almost everyone would read the agendas if offered a few days before the committee meetings. In addition, over 71% would respond to or submit questions and comments in advance of committee meetings. Detailed agendas are not available to the public until about an hour before the committee meetings, most of which are early in the morning. Suggestion: have the agenda and essential reports available several days before the meetings, 77%. As the governing body, the school board, as the governing body of the school board has the power to request this timeline from the administration. Even though committee meetings times are inconvenient, it was virtually unanimous that the district should record these meetings. Moreover, 2/3 of respondents would be likely or very likely to watch a recorded session. Many want the committee meetings back on Zoom with the ability to make comments online. This is an accessibility issue, whether citizens are immunocompromised, disabled, or just have to get the kids off to school or themselves to work in the morning. Community members want to feel respected, and the board and superintendent value their input and use that to help inform decisions.
Ms. Seltzer? Ms. Seltzer? I'm sorry. We have guidelines that we need to follow. If you want to share that with us, please do. Thank you.
Jamie Mogul and then Lisa Prosnitz.
I better talk fast. Okay, timer's going. Good evening, I'm Jamie Mogul. Some of you I know. I just want to say first, thank you all, because it is really, I'm sure, sometimes a very thankless job and unpaid. So I just want to start off by saying that and welcome the new superintendent. You all are committed to the community, so am I. Some of you know me in my work with the League of Women Voters. I am the current president of the League, and much of our work is around voter information and accessibility of just what the work you do and other local governments like the Borough Council and the Board of Commissioners. So I don't have much time, but I plan to follow up with our league plans to follow up with a more detailed letter. But the crux of my comments really stem from concerns over lack of transparency. You just heard another speaker and others talk about this. And I've seen it firsthand watching the meetings myself. I do appreciate that they are on Zoom, and you did really go toward that and understand in the COVID era that we need access in that. But the subcommittee meetings as well, there seems to be a lot of defensiveness and antagonism. And we really feel, I believe, this could be avoided by following the sunshine laws. I do know the solicitor is here, and you do have large legal bills, but really this is not, again, I'm not coming at it antagonistic, but really to come to you with concerns that we really feel that we can build trust by building the, so I'm just gonna give 2 quick examples, and I know I have to be very quick. And as of August, the sunshine laws were expanded, requiring agendas be publicly available and published 24 hours in advance of meetings, including subcommittee meetings. And the most recent facilities meeting, and as you heard Mr. Lee say, they failed to publish the underlying documents until 2 hours before the meeting. Many of the community members commented on this. We didn't hear from the reports about what the public comments said, and I think that's really important. So on also this list of bills, we heard that read off tonight, which is considerable, I know, but it doesn't talk about the itemized or explain the billing. I know I don't pay a bill without looking at what I'm paying for. And so I have 1 minute remaining, but many of the public comments also were to that, asking about the legal bills. You know, what are you paying for? Is it about right to know? Is it about the new Arnold Field? There were many things brought up and asked about what are you paying toward? Because if you look at the long list of bills, which I do, it only has one number. So that's not itemized. Also, it was announced at the meeting that there was a hard stop at a certain time without noting this on the agenda and ahead of time. So this, again, is not to come at you, but just to really work together, because I think a lot of that defensiveness and antagonism, which I've witnessed certainly, could be avoided. One other thing is, we know executive sessions are necessary. You have, what, a budget over $300 million, you know, thousands of students, a lot going on. But they often happen without the lack, may I just finish really quickly, just my thought? The lack of specificity is not there, and that's a violation of the sunshine laws. But we'll follow up with more.
Please follow up.
Thank you.
Lisa Prosnitz, Penn Valley. Dr. Mumine, I'm thrilled to welcome you to our community. And I chose that word specifically because it's what we are. We're not just a school district, but we're a community. I'm a parent of 3 children, 2 currently in district, and have been actively advocating for later school start times for several years. As you've likely been following, our community's been divided over a variety of issues, often related to our schools. And at present, one of the issues pertains to the proposed 80-foot lights on Arnold Field. Dr. Mumine, I have a few requests. First, please reach out to not only our school board directors, sitting around you and some of whom are truly wonderful, but also to the members of our community, including our teachers, staff, and students, who have been closely watching and involved in current issues. Include those advocates who have been coming to school board meetings for years, seemingly as critics, but perhaps could also be seen as collaborators who want to see our district be at its best. They won't be hard to find. Second, I ask that you take a solid look at the history over the lingering possibility of a change in school start times and make the necessary decision to prioritize it for our students. It was 7.5 years ago that Dr. Judith Owens stood in this very room speaking to our district, 4 months before the release of her American Academy of Pediatrics study. You'll be facing many issues over the coming months and years, but school start times and for sure the fields for the new middle school and full-day kindergarten are some of the most pressing that are keeping Lower Merion School District from being the leading district that it was. While our board has resolved to implement healthy school start times only when permanent lights on Arnold Field are secured, I sincerely ask that you question this. The proposal for lights on Arnold Field has been tied up in litigation, creating more of a divide, underscoring the lack of trust many community bodies have experienced, and sadly shows no sign of letting up. This has been an exhaustive, not to mention expensive process. With the goal of later school start times in mind, I ask that you collaborate with the involved community, as they are likely to be more amenable to changes if we include them in the process. This would be true of all issues we face. Given Mr. Copeland's recent admission that the proposed lights will only light the football field, resulting in stacked practices, I do question why, if LMSD is truly committed to healthy school start times, why not simply install practice lights along the fields by Montgomery Ave, thereby not disturbing the many residences that were built prior to the field, and most importantly, offering our students the opportunities they need for both athletics and sleep. Our community needs to heal so that we can move forward. I'm looking forward to seeing our district and community build bridges, because really we have so many assets and are so fortunate. From everything I've seen and read about you, you're collaborative, a great listener, communicative, and respectful. Please let us know anything we can do to help support you. Thank you.
Harry Mobley, and then Holly Manzoni.
Good evening to the board. My name is Harry Mobley Jr. I am a resident of Wynwood, a father of 5 former LMSD students, 1 Harriton, my one and only daughter, and everyone else from Lower Merion High School. My sole purpose here today is to welcome Dr. Mumeen. I just wanted to say welcome. We're glad that you're here. I'm a community advocate as well as an employee of the district and a coach at the middle school. I coach basketball. Looking forward to working with you, and all the best.
Holly Manzoni, Wynwood. I too would like to welcome Dr. Mumeen. Very, very happy you're here. I imagine that as a superintendent, this might seem like a really great job. You're in a district of very high-performing students, as we just saw earlier. Also, a very intelligent community and people with a lot of resources to offer. Not to mention the budget. I mean, the recent article in USA Today, I believe it was, highlighted how Lower Merion spends, I believe it's $32,000 a year per child versus $21,000 in Philadelphia. So it's an exciting job, an exciting place. We're very happy to have you here. Despite all these resources and wonderfulness about this community, as you've heard through the other comments today, we have some issues. You frankly have a little bit of an image problem. There are issues with transparency and communication that are troublesome to those residents. We find that issues like the committee meeting last week and things about the sunshine. One of the residents asked at that meeting whether or not there would be an appeal to the decision on the lights at Arnold Field. And no answer was given, when it turns out that that appeal was turned in the day before. So how could it be? Did the board members not know about that? Now, I know you weren't the superintendent at the time, but Could the administration have been acting on their own without board knowledge? If the board did approve that, that should have been done by law in an open meeting. And so there are issues like this that just kind of create a little bit of mistrust among the community. And I think you've heard from other people this evening very similar things. I like to think that with a new superintendent who comes very, very highly regarded superintendent at the helm, that maybe things can change. We do have a fantastic community. We have wonderful, supportive, generous residents, and we'd like to work with you, not against you. I think that the amount of money spent on litigation is very, very high, and maybe that could be reduced with better communication with the residents. Find out what those hot button items are and see if we can resolve those issues before going down the path that leads to court. Again, I welcome you and I look forward to a very productive time. Thank you.
Rosa Sirota and then Alex Tavangar.
Good evening, and welcome aboard, Dr. Moomin. It's so nice to see you this evening, and I hope we can get to know you in our neighborhood. We would like that very much. My name is Rosa Sirota. I reside in Wynwood with my family. It is my great pleasure to wish Dr. Moomin success on your first day at Lower Merion. And I hope it's been calm. I am a parent, grandparent, and teacher. My family and I relocated to Lower Merion 40-something years ago. As a retired teacher, I long ago realized that in addition to lesson plans, we are always teaching how we demonstrate consideration and respect for others. Putting lights on Arnold Field in the middle of a residential neighborhood teaches that satisfying wants takes precedence over respect for the well-being of neighbors. Although not required, it would be respectful and I think welcome for this board to submit an impact statement about the effect of the lights and night games on our residential neighborhood. I think we have an opportunity for working together. This board has not reached out for us. I served on the committee for the new Lower Merion High School, and it was a rewarding experience, and I think the school is absolutely wonderful and meets our students' needs. But there hasn't been a lot of communication, and we would like to work with you, Dr. Moomin. We would consider that helpful to us and to you also. I live a block away from Lower Merion High School. I am part of this neighborhood, and so are my neighbors. We see what happens all day. I think if we work in conjunction together, things will go much better for our neighborhood and for your time here. I would really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Mr. Tavangar, thank you.
Good evening. My name is Alex Tavangar. I live in Villanova. I also would like to welcome Dr. Moomin to the district. Look forward to meeting you in person and discussing once I have my NAACP hat on. At the moment, I have my Stand Up for Lower Merion hat on. I'd like to simply read the closing statement that Ms. Seltzer was not able to finish. Community members would like to feel respected and that the board and superintendent value their input and use that to help inform their decisions. This comment said it all. Quote, "My experience of speaking or asking a question at the meeting was not good. I felt that the board and superintendent, were not even listening, had already made up their minds, and the comments were just for show. For these reasons, I feel like the meetings are a waste of my time, since nothing has changed based on public comment." End of quote. The community should not feel this way about an entity they fund with their tax dollars and trust their children's education to. Please listen to the community, be open to transparency and new ways of doing things. We are available to discuss this in further detail. Thank you.
That's it for the in-person.
Mr. Roos, can you please read any of the public comments that were submitted via the chat feature?
Kat, is your mic on? It is a little hard to hear you. If you can turn your mic. Is your mic coming on?
Is this better? Okay. First comment is from Alexandra O'Neill, Wynwood. Please accept the Educational Committee representative of the NAACP Mainline Chapter, Alex Tavengar, as a member of the Equity Audit Advisory Committee. The local NAACP chapter should have a voice on this committee. Thank you. Next is from Hamaivu Balakinwood. I urge the district to adopt high-quality instructional materials, particularly for literacy. The current materials journey do not meet the evidence base for learning science and the science of learning. Please consider CKLA or EL education, which are both highly rated and aligned materials. Next is Leslie Freed Gladwin. I was on the naming committee and I did not agree with the name choice of Black Rock. And after reading many comments on Facebook, it seems that the community is not happy about the name. I recommend that we go back and suggest more than one name and let the community vote on the name. My recommendation on June 2nd, sent to Mrs. LaPera, had my choice of Stone Ridge Middle School for the following reasons. Number one, it does not offend any groups. Two, it is not Gladwin or Penguin centric. Black Rock is a road in Gladwin. Three, gives the neighbors pride. Four, no explanation needed. It's the name of an adjacent street. The next comment is from Maura Kuo. Haverford, I was just wondering if anyone had considered that Black Rock is the name of a famous financial planning and investment company, and that this company might have more name recognition than the prevalence of the historically significant Black Rocks on or near the site. I wouldn't want the financial company to be associated with the school in any way, even by coincidence. Christina Chang, Penn Valley. Dr. Mumin, welcome to Lower Merion. We are excited to have you here. I have children in 6th and 8th grades. The district has been trying to advocate for later start times for high school students for a couple decades. Now that later start times are tied to lights at Arnold Field, can we work together to find solutions to later start times by September 2022? Kate Legge, Wynwood. I appreciate the effort the middle school committee put in for names. However, the chosen name has no connection to most people in the community. For example, Mainline Middle School would have a connection to most people while also being connected to a geographic location. And the final chat comment is from Michelle McGill Balakinwood. I just wanted to welcome the new superintendent. I want to ask that you please speak with and spend time with the staff of REACH, all caps,
as I believe it is one of the most important programs in the district. The staff has created a caring, safe environment for the students at Bala-Cynwyd Middle School. I believe that they deserve more recognition for all of the hard work with the students they serve. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, that's all the comments. That is all of them.
Thank you, Mr. Roos.
Thank you, President Klein. Thank you, Mr. Roos. First and foremost, as a lot of public comments have come forward talking about communications, and I'm very thankful for the welcoming to the school system, to the community, to the school district. As I said earlier, I will be implementing a 90-day plan where I will be gathering information and listening to be able to map that information onto what I'm learning so that we can begin to look at the future or look to the future with new vision. Collaboration is a key asset in regards to being a leader, a district leader, especially in an exciting community and school district with a fantastic and phenomenal history. And there are things that in the communications process, there are gives and takes. There's, you have to be able to be flexible and come to consensus at some point. And I'm very excited and looking forward to those ongoing discussions and dialogue. I just wanted to put that out there because a lot of the comments, President Klein, with some welcoming comments, but urging or asking for communication and collaboration, and just wanted to say that we, superintendent along with the school board, we are committed to looking to the future with new vision. With that said, this evening as we move into the consent agenda.
Actually.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna take a moment and respond to a couple of the comments. One regarding the letter from the NAACP. I'm going to sort of highlight the response that I had sent on behalf of the board in response to that. As many people know, we are working with an outside company to help us do this audit. We hired a consulting company, and in conjunction with them, in cooperation with them, we decided that we felt that parents and guardians of current students provide a contemporaneous perspective and view on recently implemented practices, which is what we need to affect change going forward. Well, we certainly value the experiences of people who have either been students or been parents in the past. We were really looking to look at the current climate, culture, and practices. I'd also like to correct a misunderstanding about the makeup of the equity audit team. We have 12 people on our team. We have 3 teachers that span both elementary and secondary programs. We have 3 administrators that do elementary. We have an elementary vice principal, a secondary vice principal, and a curriculum director. I want to point out that oftentimes our staff are members of our community, they live within our community, and they have students. And they have students of color within our community, so I think that that's important to point out, that it's not some sort of amorphous thing out on the side. We have 3 school board members who were elected to represent to the community and who also live in the community. It is myself, Suba Robinson, and Sean Mooring. And it was the 3 of us, the 3 board representatives, who reviewed the materials provided by each of the interested parents and guardians. We took into consideration professional experience, expertise in diversity, equity, and inclusion work, grades of students, to get a perspective from both elementary and secondary families, and location within the district to ensure representation from multiple schools. We had more than 30 individuals show interest in this position, and we only had 3 spaces, so it was not an easy decision by any means. But you can be rest assured that there is not a lack of diversity or expertise in diversity, equity, and inclusion on the audit advisory team. There will be opportunities for for others in the community to participate and have impact and collaboration within the audit process because it is ongoing. And on Wednesday's ad hoc committee on anti-racism and equity, we will be talking a little bit more about where we are with the audit process. I also wanted to talk a little bit about this idea of the football field at Lower Merion High School. It is not just a football field, and as the parent of a daughter who had played sports, she graduated at Lower Merion High School and spent many, many hours on that turf field. I think it is an issue for us to call it a football field because it is also a soccer field, and it is a lacrosse field, and it is a field hockey field. And that field is played on by many, many people, and it is used for games, and it is used for practices. And I will say that the coaches of the girls' teams make sure that they get equal and equitable time on that field. And so I think we need to, as a community, stop calling it a football field and realize that it is a turf athletic field that all of our students, boys and girls, use. So that was my point on the football field. And I'm going to ask Mr. Roos to address the issue of the sunshine laws.
Thank you. I think the comment was made that for each committee or board meeting, agendas are to be posted at least 24 hours in advance of the meeting. And as with respect, and that is a correct statement, it's my understanding, and I was not at the meeting itself, but it was my understanding that the meeting of the Facilities and Purchasing Committee was posted at least more than 24 hours ahead of time. The fact that attachments to the agenda items were not posted 24 hours at a time, I don't believe constitutes a violation of the Sunshine Act, especially since no official action is taken with respect to anything at a committee meeting. The committee doesn't have the power or the authority in the Lower Merion School District, at least by policy, to take official action. Every item or every bill, as I understand it from the list of bills that was on the agenda for approval tonight, where official action will be taken, was posted well before tonight's meeting, and in fact, I believe was posted even in time for the meeting. So I don't believe there was any Sunshine Act violation.
Thank you.
Actually, could you comment on the question? Someone made a comment that the appeal needed to be discussed in public meeting.
Oh, no, that's actually, the Sunshine Act does contain an exception for executive sessions to discuss litigation. Land use litigation and appeals is a subject for executive session, and it was announced anytime there was an executive session regarding the land use appeals, they have been disclosed during my report. And no, it does not require board action to authorize the filing of an appeal. The board can give that authorization in executive session. It does not require a board vote.
Thank you. And so before we move on to the consent agenda, I would like to pull the following agenda item out for a separate vote. Dr. Mameen?
Thank you, President Klein. Item 13A under new business. The administration recommends that the Board of School Directors approve Black Rock Middle School as the name of the new middle school to be located at 1860 Montgomery Avenue, Villanova, Pennsylvania, and authorize the administration to make any necessary submissions to the Pennsylvania Department of Education or any other applicable entity to effectuate this naming.
Thank you. Are there any questions from the board? No? Okay. I just wanted to make sure that the students knew that they were welcome to make comment. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
A second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? We'll now move forward with approving tonight's agenda via consent. Are there any questions from the board on that? Do I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda via consent?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And any abstentions? Sorry. Motion passes. Mr. Roos, can you please give us a report on the Sunshine Act?
The board met in executive session last Monday evening, October 11th, to discuss right-to-know litigation. The board met tonight in executive session to discuss a federal court litigation matter and also to discuss a land development matter, which was Arnold Field.
Thank you. Our upcoming board meeting dates, our evening meetings of the full board are at 8 p.m., usually in the District Administration boardroom. We were here in the Lower Merion Auditorium because of the National Merit Recognition. Our next meeting is the November 8th Education Committee and Supplementary Regular Board meeting. And then our next regular business board meeting will be on Monday, November 15th. We have some upcoming committee meetings as well that will also be held in the boardroom and live streamed. I'll note that the full board meetings are live streamed and via Zoom. The committee meetings are live streamed starting at 8:30 a.m. unless otherwise noted otherwise, which is the first one. This Wednesday, October 20th, is our ad hoc for equity and anti-racism. It'll be at 7 o'clock in the District Administration boardroom. I welcome you all to come and join us. We'll have an update on the equity audit and also an opportunity to meet and greet with Dr. Mumeen. On November 3rd, is a Wednesday, will be at the Curriculum Committee meeting, again, 8:30 a.m. in the District Administration office. November 5th, Friday, is the next Policy Committee meeting, and November 11th, which I believe is a Thursday, is the next Facilities and Purchasing Committee meeting. I do want to give an update on some upcoming parent education programs that are coming up. Tomorrow is the first part of a joint Committee for Special Education and Interschool Council two-part series on executive functioning. Tomorrow night's session focuses on elementary students, and the second part will be on Tuesday, November 9th, and that is a focus on secondary students. Also upcoming on November 16th is the Interschool Council Hot Topic meeting with a very simple topic, which is Meet the Superintendent. Information on all of those meetings can be found on the Lmsb website and in your HSA newsletters, and all of those are on Zoom. So thank you all for joining us tonight. The meeting is officially adjourned.